Good evening, everyone. It's Melissa, and this is WTF Wednesday Thought Forum. Today, we are shooting the 51st episode of our WTF, and it is brought to you by Think Me First. You can find that website at thinkmefirst.com. My name is Melissa, and I'll be hosting our little mini show of WTF. So let's get started. Feel free to leave your name in the chat box, or if you have any questions or anything as we go with the show, and I'll keep watching those so we can address those if you have any questions or just comments. But today we are going to be talking about how to stop the self-destruction and get back to the positive. There's a lot of negativity going on in the world right now, and we all need to jump on our positive bandwagons and take some action. But the first thing we need to do is to recognize why we self-destruct ourselves. It's not something that we are out to do automatically. We don't want to self-destruct, but it happens, okay? And it's very normal. Everyone has done it at some time or other. So don't think your situations are unique. Everyone has done this. So when we self-destruct, we're doing things that actually get in the way of our intentions or our dreams, our goals, things we want to accomplish. And so, you know, many of us, and me included, and I still do it, even though I am having a lot of these conversations or these WTF shows about self-improvement, I still do a lot of this thing, okay? A lot of these things, because I'm human, it happens. But I do this too. I have this self-destructive behavior from time to time. It becomes a habit. And then what we do is we allow these behaviors or these thoughts or these patterns to undermine what we really want to do, or our success or our happiness, you know, those things that lead to success and happiness. And we often don't realize that we're allowing this to happen. I mean, if we did, we wouldn't allow it to happen, right? So it all starts with our brain. The brain is just a magnificent thing. You know, we have our brain and it regulates our life. But what many of us fail to realize is it not only regulates our physical life, but it also regulates our mental life. And, you know, we need that to stay positive, get through life, get success, and be happy. But this all starts with the subconscious mind. So, you know, our subconscious mind is the gatekeeper for our comfort zones. Our subconscious mind, it's wired automatically to self-destruct because our subconscious mind, it protects us, it prevents us from being, prevents us from pain, it keeps us safe in our comfort zones. And when we want to step out of our comfort zones, then, you know, then we have this inner voice telling us, maybe you shouldn't, this may not be the safest thing to do, or this is going to, if you try this, this could happen, even though it may not, but it could, you know. So then we start having our subconscious mind with these negative thoughts. And so then, you know, any challenge that comes before us, or obstacle or opportunity, we're just going to fail because we don't have that mindset to step outside of our comfort zone. If we allow this destructive behavior to continue, then over time, again, your inner voice is then going to start, and anything you tell yourself, you're going to start believing, whether it's true or not. And then you're not going to be successful. You're not going to be happy with anything because this is going to be constantly holding you back. You're not going to be able to seize those new opportunities because you're not going to have the mindset to, or prepare for new opportunities. You're not going to have the mindset. So we need to have that positive mindset. If you want to learn about mindset, just go to thinkmefirst.com and just type in mindset in the search bar. And there's several articles there about positive mindsets. So the next line of business I'm going to talk to you about is, you know, recognizing these self-destructive habits. There's a whole slew of self-destructing habits, but I'm only going to go over 3. I was terrible with all 3 of them. They're very common amongst many of us. So I figure I'll just go with 3 because, again, there are a lot, but that's up to you to find out what those are. But the first step to breaking any cycle or any bad habit or anything is to become aware of the behaviors. Then the second is to actually take action. And this is where a lot of us fail as well, because we are not actually taking action. If you don't take action, nothing's going to happen. It's just plain and simple. So we want to take action and start recognizing these destructing habits and cycles or mindsets that are holding us back, so that we can move forward again to have a very happy and functional life. So the first one is procrastination. Again, I was the biggest procrastinator back in college. I just put things off all the time until the last minute, and then I had all that pressure on me to get things done, and then I was cranky, and it was my own fault. But instead, procrastination is when we're not completing our goals in a timely manner. You just keep putting it off because you think next week would be a better time. Or for me, like writing, I have to be in the right mindset, and that's not all the time. But you listen to your inner voice, and you push things off until the last minute. And there's always an excuse or a reason that you need to wait to do whatever you're wanting to do. But what actually happens is nothing ends up getting resolved or done, and then you feel frustrated. Or like me, I would get things done, but it would be a time crunch, and then I was not a pleasant person to be around. Number two, I also did this, especially in my prior marriage, is negative self-talk. And negative self-talk is just where we have an inner voice, and it's constantly critical of ourselves. Like in my prior life, and I'm not playing victim or anything here. I'm very happy now. But I went through a marriage that was verbally and mentally abusive. And, so I was believing a lot of things that my abuser would tell me, that I wasn't worthy of doing this. I didn't deserve this. I didn't deserve that, things like that. And then once you start to hear that stuff over and over again, or you allow your critical mind or subconscious mind to say that stuff to you, then you start to believe it. And you blame yourself and, for past mistakes, and they're done. When in all actuality, we should be learning from these mistakes, picking up and moving forward. But needless to say, I got out of that situation so much better. But we just need to talk nicely to ourselves, because we are our own worst critic in anything we do, whether it's verbal, physical, whatever. We're our own worst critic. So you need to believe that you can do things, and say that over and over, and actually believe it, because we're our own worst critic, and it does not help at all. And the last one is perfectionism. I used to be a perfectionist too. When you're a perfectionist, you don't get things done either, because you're always telling yourself, I'm sorry, my husband, I think, just came in the door. But you're always telling yourself, this isn't the right time. I need to wait because this is really not the right time. Or I don't have the skill to do this yet, so I need to develop that before I do it. Well, in all actuality, when you're doing anything, I mean anything, writing, preparing for a speech, or doing a job interview, I mean just anything, a basketball game, whatever, it's never a good time. I mean, there's never a good time to do this. So you always just need to, whatever you're going to do, just do it. Just do it there and then. Move forward. You have the skills and you have the knowledge. Again, you just need to believe. But to be perfect, no one's perfect. No one. So perfectionism is just, it's impossible. And again, you're not going to move forward if you're a perfectionist in your life, and you're not going to be happy. So what you need to do, again, is just understand what self-sabotage means to you, and recognize those behaviors, those habits, those patterns, so that you can take the next step to stop that self-destruction. So the big question is, how do we stop this self-destruction so that we can be positive? I'm going to tell you 4 ways that you can do immediately, and they're pretty simple. Again, it just takes practice to do these things. And once you practice them over and over and over, they become natural, okay? They're not hard to do. It's just that matter of that mindset change and forcing yourself to do it. But the 4 steps that you can immediately do to stop self-sabotaging or self-destruction and move forward with positive is, number 1, look and acknowledge your self-worth. I have an article on this too at thankmefirst.com. Again, just put in search bar self-worth. I'll go back to the when I was talking about we're our own worst critics, and we are. You need to love yourself. If you can't love yourself, I guarantee you're not going to be happy all the time in your life as you move forward. Because if you can't be happy with the person you're with every day, which is yourself, then you're not going to be happy with anyone or anything. There may be temporary happiness here and there, but don't fool yourselves. It's not going to be eternal happiness. So you need to believe in yourself and love yourself because you are worthy of that. Everyone is worthy of that. And you need to figure out, what your self-destructive behaviors are behind that, or why you don't feel that you are worthy, or you deserve to be loved, or you deserve to get a new car, you deserve to be, abundant with money, whatever it is, you are worth it, okay? And it's only you that can change that mindset. Number 2 is going to be take time for yourself for self-reflection. And I talked about this in our Facebook group. That was our 101 happiness challenge for this week, is to take time for yourself. And everyone needs to take time for themselves, because when you're with other people or you're at other events or things that are going on, you're going to be distracted. You're not going to have enough time to reflect on you, yourself, the things you're doing, the things you want, things of that nature. So you need time for yourself. There's, I love this quote by Eleanor Roosevelt. It's like, no one can make you feel inferior without your consent. And it's so true. So we need to take time out to understand why we're shooting ourselves in the foot all the time. When you self-reflect, this enables you to look at your choices, look at your decisions and your actions you're taking on those to see how you're accomplishing things or not accomplishing things. It gives you time to dig deep within yourself and follow your tuition. You'll gain more insight about who you are and your emotions and your desires. But again, when you're around people or you're at an event, you can't focus on that. So you need to have self-time, your time to yourself to self-reflect. Number 3 is a big one, and that is to face your fears. Everyone has fears. Don't let anyone tell you any differently. But the first step to overcoming procrastination is to take action. Just again, like anything else that we do, take action. But when we procrastinate, it's usually because we are afraid. So the best way to deal with fear is to face it. If you're fearful of something, face it, okay? You're not ever going to be able to live a positive, full, and happy life if you're fearful of living, all right? So ask yourself, do you really want to, self-destruct and not have a happy life? I'm pretty sure the answer is no for most of us, okay? So here's an exercise that you can do to help you with fear. And I mean, a lot of people are fearful of public speaking or interviews or maybe heights. I'm scared of heights, but I do this stuff anyways. I haven't skydove before, but I'll do all the amusement rides. I'll rappel and I'll do all that stuff just to get out of my fear. But here's an exercise that you can do. Whatever you are fearful of, just take a pad and paper and write down everything you're fearful of. All right. Everything that's keeping you from maybe quitting your job and pursuing something that you like, or for everything you're fearful of for applying for this new position or moving to a new state. Just write them all down and keep writing until all your fears are out on paper. And then you go back through every single one of them and put a big X by those fears that are life-threatening or potentially life-threatening. And I guarantee for most of us and most of your fears, there's not going to be any life potential fear or potential of taking someone's life or life-threatening, okay? So what that means is just get over that fear and do it. All right. Life is about taking chances. And when you take chances, you're more successful. And finally, the last one is, listening to your intuition. I have an article on this as well. Just Google intuition. And this happens a lot. This happened a lot to me. I did not listen to my intuition. I was listening to this friend and I was listening to this friend and read this article and I did this. And my intuition was always right. And when I listened to others, it wasn't always right because other people don't know your whole situation. You know your whole situation. You know the gut feelings, and you really need to stick with those gut feelings or intuition. For me, I like being prepared. The more prepared I am, the less pressure that I feel, and the more confident I am. My confidence grows, and then the natural pressures, they start to diminish. That's just me. But, fear tends to be the main cause that holds most of us back from anything. We fear our inner critic is right. Then we start to believe that, and we don't deserve the happiness. We're not strong enough. We're not smart enough. All that. We're not able to do that, so we can enjoy life. But again, you're your own worst critic. So these thoughts, these self-limiting beliefs, they're not helpful for us. They're really negative. So we need to stop that negative dialogue that's in our head and start filling it with positive dialogue. In many of my recordings, I have said, if a bad event happens, there's always a positive to every negative. But instead of thinking, why did this happen to me again? Or why did this happen to me? Start thinking, why did this happen for me? Your car breaks down and you're waiting for a tow truck and you're just sitting there pouting, well, why did this happen to me? Perhaps maybe it happened to you because you need time to self-reflect. That's one of the characteristics we talked about for being positive. You can self-reflect while you're sitting there waiting on the tow company. There's signs out there for everything, and things happen for reasons, okay? So again, it's up to you, though, to find those positive reasons to flip these negative situations. But, to live a positive and fulfilling life, we have to, again, fill our minds with positive thoughts. You can choose them. You can choose to be negative or positive. It's a choice. But, with these positive thoughts, then you're going to have more positive benefits, or you're going to be more encouraged in your inner self and have more confidence and actually take action to do these things. Affirmations are huge. I don't know if any of you have affirmations. I post them every once in a while on our Facebook group. But practicing gratitude and showing appreciation and doing acts of kindness, all of these I have articles on, again, at thinkmefirst.com, and you can go visit those. But these are 3 practical actions that you can take to having those more positive mindsets. Okay? So, I'm winded now. Final thoughts. Only you can identify these self-destructing habits or cycles or beliefs that are that you're conjuring in your mind, and you have to take action to stop these beliefs. You need to rise above these self-destructive behaviors, and then just use these 4 practical steps that we went over to get you into this mindset of positive thinking, and stop thinking, that you're, afraid, and, you need to get past the fear and this lack of being self-worthy. So your inner critic, again, needs to no longer hold you back, because you're going to fill it with positive thoughts, right? No more negative thoughts. When you have these positive thoughts, you're going to grab these opportunities. You're going to run with them. You're going to be successful. Are you going to have errors? Yes, absolutely. Again, inevitable. It happens. We're all human. But you're going to be more successful, and you're going to be happy, and again, have confidence because you're actually trying these things. All right. So don't wait until everything is just right, because again, it's never going to happen. Don't wait for everything to be perfect, because again, it's never going to happen. These challenges are always going to be there. You're always going to have obstacles, You're always going to have less than perfect situations going on, but you can do these things, okay? You know, who cares? So what if there's obstacles? Just battle them, work through them. Who cares if there's challenges? Battle them, work through them. The biggest thing, again, with anything is to start now. Just start doing it. When you start doing things, you're going to grow stronger. You're going to have more confidence. You're going to have more knowledge, more experience, more skills. And with all of those, you're just going to be more successful and happier. Okay. All right. Well, I think I have taken a lot of your time. But anyways, I wanted to thank everyone for stopping by. And as usual, I appreciate everyone's kind words. It's very encouraging. It keeps me going. I love doing these kind of things for you. So if you have any comments that you want to leave, please feel free. Or if there's any kind of WTF Wednesday Thought Forum you want me to do, let me know, and I'll do one for you. But anyways, again, love you all, and I'm just thankful to have you guys. So again, have a good evening, and everyone take care. Good night.